Hey, how's it going? How's everybody doing? It is August. That means it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre month. I don't know why. I lost my train of thought for a split second. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, it is August, which means it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre month, and I've been watching all the movies. Um, and last night I rewatched. I mean, I've seen all the movies already, but been rewatching them and talking about them, reviewing them, and making videos for you. Well, for those of you who like to watch them, and for those of you who do, thank you so much. I appreciate it. If you also want to show some more appreciation, hit that like button. And if you want to comment, I will always get back to my comments because I do enjoy the banter. And if you haven't already and you want to subscribe, help me get up to 1,000 subs, I'd really, really appreciate that too. Anyway, I don't know why that was really awkward to say, even though I say it all the time. But I don't know, it just felt weird. It wasn't coming out right. I almost paused it and redid it and threw that into the blooper reel files. But anyway, yeah. Yes. So yeah, I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake from 2003. Is it 2003? Yeah, 2003. And I will say, when it comes to remakes, this is actually one of the better ones. In the 2000s, they just started doing this whole rebooting and remaking of all these movies. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. This is definitely one of the better ones. I'll say Friday the 13th was really well done. Halloween's okay. Everyone shits on Nightmare on Elm Street, but I think it was actually really well done. And when you think of some of the Nightmare on Elm Street sequels, and then you say this is a bad movie, and like those movies, something's wrong because some of those sequels are pretty terrible. But just saying. And Child's Play was god awful. I don't even know who greenlit that, who greenlit the design. It's just a horrible movie. But anyway, we're not talking about Child's Play or any of these other movies. We're talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I actually only have one Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake figure, which is Leatherface. I don't really see a ton of stuff compared to a lot of other films and stuff that I collect. So that's part of the reason. And also, I think Andrew Bernarski's an asshole. So I don't really want a whole bunch of figures of him. But anyway, and also this figure someone actually gave to me, someone who the less said about is the better because he's an asshole too. Um, but yeah. Anyway, yes, 2003, starring Jessica Biel, Eric Balfour, who a lot of people, my first knowing of him is from the series, HBO series 6 Feet Under, which I think that's where he actually got famous. Was his breakout role, I guess. Also, Erica Learson, who I really haven't seen her in a lot of things. Blair Witch Project 2, which not a great movie, but it's not really a terrible movie either. But I know her from that, and she is adorable, isn't she? Even now, she's like older, and she's still really cute. Sorry, not like she's ever going to see this and be like, oh, "That was wonderful. I'm going to call him up." No. Yeah, right. Okay. Anyway, Jonathan Tucker, Mike Vogel, of course, Arlie Ermy, who everybody knows very well from Full Metal Jacket as uh, as the drill sergeant, and I totally forgot the character's name. But anyway, actually, the first movie I ever saw him in was actually Mississippi Burning, which his character could not be anything unlike like his compared to the drill sergeant character. Very very opposite characters, but anyway, and of course John Larroquette reprising his role as the narrator, and then of course Andrew Bernarski, and okay, yeah, fine, he was in this movie, and that's all. Who cares? Uh, Anyway, there's a couple of few facts that I jotted down here. Erica Learson's screaming was so loud during the audition that people in other parts of the building called the police because they thought that there was a woman being attacked. So not only was she loud, I guess she was very convincing. So that's probably really plays into how she got the role, I guess. And she's also like a decent actor, so or good. I don't want to say decent. Decent sounds like she's not that good. She's okay. No, she's a good actor. She's a good actor. Again, this one isn't really a massacre because there's only two chainsaw deaths in the entire movie, which is still one more than the original Chainsaw Massacre. But and I'm not knocking that movie because it's well, the light just turned off. It's my favorite horror movie of all time. But we'll be talking about that one in a couple of days. What else? Oh, apparently Jessica Biel liked the outfit she was wearing a lot, and she actually did enjoy walking around in it. And I'm not gonna lie, I think everybody enjoyed seeing her walking around in that outfit because, yeah. And so let's see. Uh, what was I gonna say? Oh, Andrew Bernarski. He actually asked Michael Bay personally if he could take the role, which helped get it. Apparently, there was another Leatherface, another actor in it, and he got really sick, and I think they shot a couple scenes, and then Andrew Bernarski ended up coming in and taking over and doing basically the whole movie. But I don't really know too much more about that. But a lot of people refer to that Leatherface as the lost Leatherface. So, but I can't remember who the actor was. On the last day of shooting, Eric Balfour took off all his clothes, stripped right down except for a baseball cap, and walked off the set in humorous fashion. And let's see, did I miss something? Oh, and Daniel Pearl, who was the cinematographer for the original film, also came back and was the cinematographer for the remake as well. Now, there's a possum pretty much, I believe, in every Chainsaw Massacre movie, and this one it's actually alive, and they open up a locker, I believe, and it scares them, or they open up a cupboard, or so I think it's near when they first get to the house, and they're sneaking around, looking around, nosing around, whatever, and then they saw the possum. But the problem was it was a domesticated trained possum, so every time they opened the door, it would do something cute, and they had to keep reshooting it because it just was not scary. So, and possums are actually really cute. People think of like, yeah, but they're actually really cute animals, you know. And if you ever get bit by one, you don't have to worry about rabies because they can't get rabies apparently because their body temperature isn't compatible with the disease. So just a little fun fact there. And there's going to be a subplot where Erin, Jessica Biel's character, was going to be pregnant, but I think they scrapped a lot of that. But it's hinted at near the beginning of the film when they're drinking and smoking up, and she doesn't want to have any of it, and she has her head out the window while they're smoking the weed. So it does sort of hint at it, and I always kind of picked it up, but sort of got those vibes, but then it was never mentioned again in the rest of the movie, so you sort of forget about it. And yeah, so that's just a couple little fun facts. A couple things I didn't like about the film, and there's not a lot because actually I do really like this film. I think it's really well made, but I'll get to that in a minute. I didn't like that Leatherface had his arm cut off in the beginning, or at the beginning, sorry, at the end rather, which means you couldn't really do any sequels. So I guess that's why they did a prequel, called The Beginning. That's what I was thinking when I said that. Sorry, this video's a little bit rough because I'm trying to keep my volume down. I don't want to get all excited because Tracy's trying to sleep in the other room because it's like midnight right now. And but yeah, I didn't really like that. That was, yeah, but whatever. The I'm gonna say this one last. Finding the hitchhiker, her photo in the jar. They find it buried in the trunk of a car. The curly-haired character, I've forgotten their names, but when he reaches in and somebody's got me, he's just playing around, and he pulls out the jar, and it's the hitchhiker girl, or the girl they find in this. They call her a hitchhiker, but she's not hitchhiking. She's walking down the street. But anyway, we'll just call her the hitchhiker for sake of argument. But and it doesn't really go anywhere after that. And how long was she there? How long did they keep her hostage, or whatever it was they were doing with her, that they had time to have a picture of her, put it in a jar? Like, it just sort of didn't really go anywhere with it. It was sort of unnecessary, but I mean, it had a little bit of a creepy factor to it. But after that, it just sort of it gets forgotten about. It's you think about the movie later on, it's not really one of the scenes that stand out and you go, remember that part where they found the picture? Like, but the scene that I can't stand, it always pulls me right out of the movie, is when Jessica Biel or Erin's in the trailer, in the camper or whatever, with the tea ladies, the girl and the older woman, and they give her the tea, and then she goes and she sees the baby, and just out of the blue she's like, that's not your baby, you stole him. And then I think that's when she passes out or something. I think that's what happens there. But it's like, just kind of gets blurted out, and it just sort of seems odd. Like I think there could have been a little bit of build up to that, and then it wouldn't have seemed so like silly. Like I always kind of like what like the first time I saw it, it was in the theater, and I was just like, what the hell? Like where did that come from? Like it was just a personality switch just for that moment, and it just kind of I don't know. Now I know she was all drugged and fucked up and shit that because they drugged her, but I just thought it was like weird. But anyway, on to some things that I like. Um, the entire scene with the hitchhiker, like when they pick her up, her acting in the car, she's a phenomenal actor. I can't remember her name. I should have written it down, but oh, excuse me. But yeah, that the whole interaction, everything, just her. She was just so mentally comatose, and then she realizes that you're going the wrong way and all this other stuff. She's basically saying, don't go this way, bad things are going to happen. And then also how that sort of circles back at the end of the movie with Aaron when the truck driver's bringing her back to pretty much where she just escaped from. So it's kind of cool. But that whole scene when even when she shoots herself, and it's just a really well done start to the movie. Like the hitchhiker scene in the original film is extremely intense and creepy, and this was not quite as intense as that, but it was more intense, but it wasn't as good, I don't think. But those are also some pretty big shoes to fill. But yeah, it was still really well done. She pulls the gun out of her special spot, and then just and it's just like just everybody's reaction. Yeah, I see you, cutie. Lemmy's being cute, but it's just a really good scene, and I think it was very well done. The practical effects are top notch in this movie. Really incredibly well done practical effects. I'm sure there's like some CG parts here and there that if wherever they are, they were so seamless that I didn't even pick up on them, as a lot of times you can. So the practical effects, the gore, it was high enough, intense and crazy enough to be believable, not so much over the top, but also enough to really get you viewing. There's something I'm trying to think of, trying to say it, and it's not coming, but just to keep you interested and keep you like on edge. So really well done. It done effects. Also, I like the personality swap with Leatherface. In the original film, he's scared, he's confused, he doesn't know what's going on. He's just basically doing what he's told. He's protecting the house, and he doesn't know where everybody's coming from. Where this Leatherface was very intentional, very angry, very like just a killing machine, and you can see that he did it not just because he felt he had to, but because he actually liked doing it. It seemed. Whereas in the original film, he was just on autopilot. This is how things are done, and also you're breaking into my house, and you know um, when they first go to the house, and the father character, whatever, the guy in the wheelchair, just his anger, his acting is phenomenal. First of all, the character is very believable. He's scary, and he's just a really good character in the entire film. Like I all the characters in the film were essentially pretty good. I will say, like, there's not any characters that I really didn't like. Even less secondary characters like the women in the trailer, they were still good characters. They were minimal, but they were still good. Um, every scene with Lee Ermey, with R. Lee Ermey is a good scene. Like everything, but like he's just got that intensity, that anger, that you don't know what he's going to do next, which makes the character absolutely terrifying. And you're always just kind of like, oh shit, what's going to happen now? You actually feel for the other people when he's around, like they're in danger, and he just nailed that role, just like he did with the drill sergeant. Um, he just took those roles and owned them. There was the scene, I believe it was, I think it was the scene where the main boyfriend, I've forgotten his name, but when he gets killed and he gets the mallet to the head, or the sledge to the head, and there's a cartoon on the background, and blood goes on the TV screen, and right when it hits the screen, they timed it perfectly. It's a, I don't know what kind of animal, like a bear or something, a cartoon bear, sort of Disney type character, Max Fleischer kind of looking thing. But when it hits the screen, the character goes, yeah. So it's like they set that up amazingly, and it's just one of those things. If you blink and you miss it, but when you see it, it's like, wow, Kemper, that's his character. That's his name. um, after the girl shoots herself, that whole pull away shot through the face, through the hole in the head, through the hole in the window, and you see her head fall back. And from what I understand, that was all done practically. Like it was obviously a real dummy with a hole in it. And apparently, unless I'm mistaken, when they pull everything back, they had to keep moving things back into frame so they could pull the camera out, and it's not actually going through this small little hole. They actually had to, when it pulled back, they had to somehow put it back so it looked seamless. So really good shot, excellent practical effect right there. And I already said this too, but it's actually like I said, one of the best horror remakes I've seen in a long time. So, with this whole in the 2000s, all these horror remakes that came out, it's easily one of the best, if not the best of the bunch. So there's that. Anyway, if you like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake 2003, yeah, let me know. Drop it in the comments and tell me what you think about it. If there's things I said or something I missed that maybe was a great scene or a bad scene, or maybe I've said something you disagreed on, please drop it in the comments. We'll banter. It'll be a lot of fun. And if you want to like and subscribe, help me get up to 1,000 subs, that would also be kind of fun. Well, for me. Anyway, thank you, and I guess until the next one, bye.